Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at gold today. This is our 30-minute chart on gold, and when came into the room today was actually leaning a little to the bullish side in gold. But then we had some news announcements, and gold had kind of a bearish reaction off of that. Left this big topping tail and then pushed down, ended up leaving a bottoming tail, and the entire body of this bar was all buying and closed back above the 50 EMA. And so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we are going to go ahead and play out to the bullish side after all. But that really wasn't the case. I mean, we did push a little bit higher, kept leaving these topping tails, showing a real reluctance to go higher. And then we had this bar right here. This was reversal doji. Left the topping tail. The entire body of the bar was buying. Now it poked under the 50 and then closed back above it. Again, we know the 50 and the 200 are significant support and resistance lines. And gold ended up closing back above it. But we were getting bearish. The fast and slow line on momentum were crossing. The 5 and 13 were crossing. And then this next bar triggered that in, triggered our reversal doji to the downside. Was a really bearish bar, just a tiny topping tail. The entire body of the bar was all selling. So we had a nice push down initially, pulled back, consolidated, set up a real high probability bear flag right here that triggered to the downside, and gold's working its way lower. This is what that looked like on the Renko chart. And again, when we first came in, we were looking for some bullish action, and we came into the room right in here and we were pushing a little higher, chopping. We had news coming up. We don't trade in front of the news. And then the news announcements hit. Gold made this initial push down and then started climbing higher again. We were in kind of a compression channel. You can see we had a pivot right here. We had a double pivot right here. So we were in kind of a compression channel, but we were actually making higher lows and higher highs inside the compression channel. We set up the slow line zero touch, actually traded this for only one target, didn't follow through, pulled back, and then this is where we set up that reversal doji. We pulled back, that doji closed right in here, gave us our double bottom support line, and this was also where that reversal doji was triggering in, broke under the cloud, Trender Pro 2.0 turned bearish red, triggered that reversal doji, and then a nice move to the downside. That support line was right there at 1866. We traded down into our target. Our first target was 1859.60. Those who trade with us know we trade to targets all the time. So you had the potential to grab 600 bucks on that trade, $500-600 depending on how you traded it. We started getting extended. See how the VSI was below the 30 line, painting dots indicating that the volume was to the downside, was drying up. And then we got the pullback, pulled back in here. We were a little extended to the downside. Now you may have taken this wick off the 18 or you may not have. I mean, technically it was kind of a valid setup. We didn't have much of a momentum reset. I like to see the fast and slow line at least come back inside the 25s for a momentum reset and then trigger on down. But this may have been a setup, and had you taken it, you would have taken a stop loss right there. Not a big deal. Not every setup is a winning trade. That would have been a 12 tick loss. So potentially, like I said, if you took that wick off the 18, you may have taken a stop out for a small loss on the 5-bar rule. 5-bar rule had us out on that bar, so that would have been a 12 tick loss. Then we continued to kind of consolidate. You see these wicks, we were kind of bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. And you can see that from this bar to this bar, time frame was about 30 minutes. But this is where we set up that 30-minute bear flag on the 30-minute chart. And as that 30-minute bear flag was triggering right here, that's when that was setting up. We had this 30-minute bear flag right here. When that was triggering, we were not only triggering the bear flag, moving averages to the downside, momentum to the downside, but we are also triggering a bearish inflection, which is a bearish momentum setup. So this was a very high probability bear flag that triggered right there. And then of course we traded that down into our next target. Our next target was 1856.60. That triggered in off of that bear flag at 1860.60. So again, just depending on how you were trading this, You had the potential to grab another $400 per contract on this move down, pushed a little lower. Our next target to the downside is 1852.60. I don't know if we're going to get there or not. We're starting to get a little bullish divergence forming here. You see we're starting to form some bullish divergence. We got a lower low in price, higher low in momentum. We'll see. It doesn't trigger unless the bar closes up. We'll see what this does. Our next potential target is down here at 1852.60. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to get there or not. We're forming some bullish divergence, so we'll be careful trading this point here. But definitely a couple nice high probability setups trading gold today.